Storied in academic excellence and athletic lore, Carroll ISD is the essence of tradition and community involvement. Built upon years of commitment to the standards of the past, Southlake is the result of those who walked before us, focused on making a difference in the world we live. Pushed by those same standards and a desire to impact their community, Southlake Young Life was built by community members hoping to change the very lives that walk the halls of our schools. Southlake Young Life began with a blueprint marked by each successive step on a journey to pursue Jesus.
You know, I knew that we didn't have Young Life in Southlake, and I just felt God was leading me to figure out how to get it started. We weren't sure exactly how to get it started. Young Life staff told us, why don't you hold a series of interest meetings? And through that, we were able to identify those first 10 or 12 committee members and just start praying about how we were going to get it launched. And you know, God is really faithful. He answers prayers, and He answered the committee's prayer by bringing us Jared. Jared and Stephanie both. Jared called us at a given point and he said to us, would you guys consider me?
My husband is Jared Sutton, and he was a teacher for 7 years at Dawson Middle. So then he comes home and tells me, hey, I want to quit my job and go do Young Life, which I, at that point, didn't know what Young Life was. Neither of us were in Young Life growing up, and it was completely different than what I thought it was. I thought Young Life was just another church group, but then they shared the heart of Young Life and how it's for kids who wouldn't go to church possibly. Young Life began in Gainesville, Texas years ago by a man named Jim Rayburn. He was a youth pastor, said, if I can't get kids to come to me, then I've got to go to them. And so that is the whole premise of Young Life. We go where kids are. And so he started going to schools, he went to school events, and he started meeting kids where they were at. And that still continues now in Southlake Young Life. Last year we were able to take 5 student leaders with us to let them lead with us. So we had an adult leader and a student leader in each cabin, and it was really cool to see them be able to actually lead cabin time and share their faith before they went away to college.
I think what most prepared me for those one-on-one relationships with my campers at Young Life was just honestly that Jared, he went out on a limb for me, and he just started giving me more like leadership positions in Young Life, and just the fact that someone would see that in me, I didn't want to let him down, and I also wanted to step up. So me and one camper, Cole Johnson, got pretty close that week, but we had one-on-one times where we would just sit down with the campers one-on-one and just talk about them, like what they thought about the messages that week and everything. So I think that last night he kind of got back to where he was last year, and I guess he just realized the significance of what the Lord was walking him through. And so I was just talking him through that, but I do remember one of the significant moments that had the most profound impact on me personally was he stopped and he told me that he really felt like he could see God speaking through me to him in that moment.
I've always felt like I've wanted and I've been called to be a leader, and I feel like that night through Blake, he was telling me that it's your time and grow closer with me to start what I'm putting in place for you. And I feel like Blake just really helped me find that.
There was one night especially where they gave us an opportunity to go out anywhere you wanted in the camp, and they were like, we're gonna turn off everything, we're not gonna make a sound, and you're gonna talk to God. And I heard that, and I was just like, I was like, I can't do that. That's terrifying, because I knew that there was no faking it anymore. There was no saying, I can handle it, I can do this, because I was completely face to face with my problems, and I said out loud, I was like, I'm terrified, and I'm praying to myself, I'm crying, I hear people crying around me, and this whole time I'm thinking, how do I deserve this? How do I deserve to start fresh, and how is Jesus going to forgive me for constantly not only saying I can do it to myself, but him reaching out to me and me turning him away, saying no, I can do it. So how is he going to forgive me for that? And then I kind of just felt this feeling of relief, like now that you've accepted him, you're not alone. And this is someone that, regardless of what you've done, regardless of how many times you rejected them, and their constant grace, he is here now, and you can do all things through him.
Jared and I are so thankful for all the support we've gotten from community members. Without your generosity, the lives that have been changed here in Southlake Young Life wouldn't have been possible. Building the tradition starts now with you.